Layoffs just happened, and you want to be prepared for the next cycle of tech recruitment. Here are 5 UX projects you can do right now. If you implement these ideas, I assure you that by the end of the next 3 months, you will have a full UX portfolio ready to go for job recruitment. I also included an email template that will guide you through how to reach out to local businesses to get started with your first UX case study. So stay tuned for that. If you're an aspiring UX designer, this video is for you. Solution for a local business. Coming up, I'll introduce how to reach out to local businesses, how to communicate with stakeholders to work most effectively with them, and also the email template to reach out to them. So for all of the projects that I'm about to mention, it's best if you can work on a team. Why? Well, with all jobs on the market, you're going to be working with a ton of people. So if you can get experience practicing communication with cross-functional partners, collaboration, then you'll be set for the next recruitment cycle. If you can't get team experience, it's okay. You can conduct these projects by yourself as well. That's a great starting point, but eventually you want to move towards how can I get team members to work on this project together? So, reaching out to local businesses. During the school year, I worked on a team with developers, product managers to work with a local nonprofit in Nashville called bootcamp. bootcamp essentially distributes books across elementary schools, high schools, in hopes of raising youth literacy. Essentially, with our team, we created softwares to help them with their day-to-day operation. This is how we reached out to them. When you're reaching out to anyone, any organization, make sure that you signify exactly how you can solve their current pain points. I'm Alyssa. You introduce yourself. I'm Phoebe, a student at X University and an experienced designer. Then you introduce the problem that you see. I noticed that bootcamp received an influx of volunteers this past year, making it difficult to rely on the paper and note method to document everyone's records. Then you suggest a possible solution. A web portal or an online documentation system may help facilitate your day-to-day operations. Then you can also provide more context. So at school, I work with a team of developers to create software for nonprofits for free. This is the most important part. You want to include a direct call to action. Do you have time for a coffee chat this week? You love your mission and want to learn more about how we can help you come up with a solution for managing this influx of volunteers and data. Sincerely, Phoebe. So with that, you can reach out to your local businesses right away. Even if nothing comes out of it or you misdefine their problem, they're probably willing to sit down and just have a chat with you, and you never know what can go on from there. How do we communicate with stakeholders throughout the entire product creation process? So at bootcamp, we met both online and virtually with them many times throughout the entire UX design process, defining the problem, ideation, prototyping, user testing. We set out regular points of contact. The key here is you want to ask yourself, what can we do right now to make sure that there is transparent communication between our team and the stakeholder at all times? When it comes to these kind of working with local businesses, NGO kind of projects, keep in mind that most of this will be unpaid. Generally, I believe that all work should be paid. But keep in mind that this is you reaching out to them in hopes of having a project that will help you gain experience as a designer, as a product manager. So it is more or less done on a voluntary basis. You can, however, of course, search for paid roles, paid jobs. You can start with UX Rescue or open source design and also Fiverr. These are great sites to help pay you on a freelance basis. Next up, solve problems via Google review. I want you to pause this video and think, what are some of the apps that you use on a daily basis? All right, you done? Now think, what are some aspects of it that you really enjoy and some aspects that you wish could be changed? A few years ago, I subscribed to this random email newsletter called Readwise. I first heard of this from Ali Abdal, productivity guru. Essentially, it's a newsletter that congregates all of your quotes that you highlighted from books. One day I was like, okay, cool stuff. I'm enjoying reading my quotes, whatever. But not gonna lie, the whole newsletter wasn't the best on the eyes. In other words, I think the reading experience could be improved. So what I did was I took a screenshot of the newsletter, chucked it onto Figma, and then redesigned the whole newsletter from scratch. I moved around different components based on some Gestalt principles, whatnot. Basically, it was a design exercise. Then I exported those files, chucked it into an email, and reached out to Dan, the founder of Readwise. Surprisingly, he responded a few days later. Now, nothing tangible came out of this, which it's fine. It wasn't the point. The point was to get started, redesigning these things that we use on a daily basis and to get some sort of feedback from them. So this is also something you can do. Reach out to the developers, to the founders of the apps that you use on a daily basis, define a problem that you see, propose a solution, and send them kind of the updated designs. Who knows, maybe they'll be impressed and also give you a job. Another action you can take, you can go on Google or on the App Store, search up an application, and read all of the reviews that it received. From there you can see what kind of problems are users facing, what possible design solutions you can come up with to combat these issues. Thank you to Rita Designs for coming up with this great suggestion. In today's day and age, specialization is overhyped. Besides the trusted mobile and desktop softwares, we're now seeing the expansion of artificial reality, virtual reality. Designers can also now leverage AI to build things that they've never built, never designed before. You want to get started on crafting solutions for multiple platforms. For example, you can design landing pages that work for mobile, for iPad, for desktop, for Apple Vision Pro, for Meta Quest. To take action, start with prompts. You can go on sites like Daily UI, which is a great prompt generation site, and make something for all types of platforms. Throughout the whole process, see what you enjoy most, because based on this, you can cater your future projects to whatever you find the most interesting and what you think you're the best at. Quoting David Epstein from the book Range, breadth of training predicts breadth of transfer. When you have a variety of projects under your belt, you can create abstract models in your head that helps you adapt to new contexts. User experience design is fundamentally the same everywhere. You are trying to solve the user's problem. Don't worry about specializing early on. Just try everything, explore, see what you enjoy, and go from there. Next project, a hackathon. In my sophomore year, I entered a hackathon for the first time. It was at my university, Vanderbilt, and it was called Vandy Hacks. Essentially, we had 36 hours to do this, and surprisingly, our team won the hackathon. Let me know if you're interested in hearing about this hackathon. I can make a separate video on it. It was me, one front-end developer, and two back-end devs. We essentially created a web app that crowdsources music picks. Think of a joint Spotify playlist where everyone can chuck in their votes, their favorite songs. This is one of the most fun and energizing experiences I've had as a designer. I would highly recommend you to enter a hackathon right away. And down below, I'll include links to hackathons that you can join right now, like they're open right now. Why do we join hackathons? Well, first, it gives you a sense of what it's like to work under time pressure. Second, you're working cross-functionally the entire time, collaborating with devs, engineers, to create a product from scratch. And third, it's really fun. Some of them, if you go in person, they cater really good food. Everyone's delirious, very sleep deprived. You're running on 3 iced lattes, whatever. And at the end of it, you can come back and present this project that you essentially gave birth to 36 hours ago. Anyway, it's a really fun process and everyone should try it at least once in their life. Finally, we got open source projects. There are projects on the internet right now that you can start as a UX designer or a product manager. I already mentioned earlier UX Rescue and open source design, but there are online communities that gather UX designers, such as Design Buddy. I also think this is great for PMs, EMs, anyone who wants to better work with designers. But Design Buddy is a Discord channel. You can ask questions, you can ask for paid opportunities, or just get feedback for any of your designs. Having a community like this is really important, especially if you're working remotely or you plan to work solo for most of your projects, because at the end of the day, it's really the human connection that makes us enjoy a profession. Like, yes, all the designing, all the Figma stuff is really fun, but having someone you can talk to, like a real human connection, I think that is what makes working in tech fun in the first place. I hope you found value in this video. Let me know, what project are you planning to start in the next few months? Who are you going to work with? And also, what skills do you plan to develop? I'm Phoebe, a UX designer, your pocket digital coworker, and I will see you next time.